You are standing in a glass office on the 40th floor, watching a single number settle on your screen. $11.6 million. That is your net worth. That is the exact line you just crossed to become officially part of the top 1%. You made it. The thing they told you almost no one reaches. On paper, you are now wealthier than 99 out of every 100 people alive. And for one quiet second, it feels like the end of the story. It is not. It is barely the front door. Because from up here, for the first time in your life, you can see something the people below you cannot. There are floors above you, floor after floor after floor. And the distance between the bottom of the 1% and the top of it is wider than the entire climb you just made to arrive. Here is what almost no one understands about the rich. We talk about the 1% as if it were a single room, one velvet rope, one guest list, one kind of money. It is not. The 1% is a tower, and most of the people inside it spend their whole lives on the lowest floor, staring up. You have always carried two feelings about the people at the top of that tower. You envy them and you resent them. You want what they have, and somewhere underneath, you suspect they did something dirty to get it. Hold on to both feelings, because by the top of this climb, one of them is going to quietly disappear. So let us go up, floor by floor, and watch exactly what changes about you on the way. Level 1. The Edge. $11.6 million. This is the floor most people picture when they imagine a rich person. The surgeon who owns the practice, the lawyer who finally made partner, the founder who sold the company. You earn somewhere around $800,000 a year, and you feel powerful because for the first time in your life, money is no longer the thing that keeps you awake. But come closer, because this floor hides something the people above you already know. Your wealth still has your name on its leash. Comes from you. From your hands, your hours, your title, your reputation. The house, the cars, the lifestyle, all of it is fed by a single engine, and that engine is you. Stop showing up for 6 months and the river starts to run dry. You cannot get sick for too long. You cannot truly disappear. You cannot stop, because the moment you stop, the money stops with you. So enjoy the view, but be honest about where you are standing. You are not free. You are extremely well paid. And the entire rest of this tower is built on the difference between those two things. You are the earner, the richest possible version of a worker. And the floor above is about to show you what it looks like when the work finally ends. Level 2. The top half of the 1%. $30 million. Something fundamental changes here, and it is not the size of the house. It is the source of the money. For the first time, your wealth out-earns you. In an ordinary year, the $30 million you already hold grows by more than you could ever save out of a salary, no matter how high that salary climbs. The engine has switched off the man and switched on the money. You could go to sleep for a year and wake up richer than when you closed your eyes. And the world quietly rearranges itself around you. You do not stand in line at a bank anymore. The bank comes to you. You are handed a private banker, a single human being whose job is to know your name, your children, your worries, and your plans. They stop selling you products. They start protecting your position, because losing you would cost them more than 1,000 ordinary customers combined. You have stopped building wealth. You have started managing it. You are no longer a person who got rich. You are an investor, and the door above you only opens for those. Level 3. The top 1/10 of 1%. $62 million. This is the floor where the doors begin opening before you knock. Think about how investing works for everyone below you. They fight over the same public stocks, the same funds, the same opportunities printed on the same screens that anyone can see. Up here, the best deals never touch the public at all. The private company 3 years before the public is ever allowed to buy in. The building that is sold before it is ever listed. The fund that does not answer calls and does not need yours. You are not let in because you are brilliant. You are let in because you are useful. Your capital opens rooms that intelligence alone never could. The people inside those rooms are not smarter than the people locked outside them. They are simply standing on the correct side of the door. And this is the part that begins to answer the resentment you carried in here. It is not all a conspiracy, but it is not a fair race either. Up here, money does not just buy things. It buys access to the place where money is made before anyone else is even allowed to arrive. You are no longer chasing the market. The market has started to chase you. You have become an insider. Level 4, the centimillionaire, $100 million. At this floor, money stops being something you manage and becomes something you institutionalize. You no longer have a banker, you have a family office, a private company built around a single family, staffed with lawyers, tax specialists, and investors, whose entire reason to exist is to grow and defend one fortune across generations. People wake up every morning, commute to an office, and work a full day, and the work is you. And what you hold has changed shape completely. You do not own shares now. You own stakes. You own 4% of a company you have never once walked into, and that 4% earns more while you sleep than most people earn in 20 years awake. You hold a seat on the board, a vote, a voice in the rooms where decisions are made that quietly reshape the lives of thousands of employees who will never know your name. You no longer own things. You own the things that other people spend their entire lives working inside. You have crossed the line from wealth into ownership. You are an owner. Level 5, the billionaire, $1,000 million, $1 billion. This is the floor the entire world points at. The yacht, the private jet sitting on the runway in full daylight. The name in the headline, the number with 9 zeros standing behind it. And here is the secret that no one climbing ever believes until they arrive. At this height, the money turns abstract. You genuinely could not spend it. You could buy almost anything you can imagine, and the number would barely flinch. So it stops being about lifestyle. The second yacht changes nothing. The bigger house changes nothing. Once every want you have ever had becomes a rounding error, wanting itself stops being the point. So it becomes about control. You do not own products. You own the companies that make them. You do not own an account on the platform. You own the platform. You shape what millions of people see and buy and believe and want, most of them with no idea that you exist. A single decision you make in a quiet room moves prices, moves jobs, moves entire towns. You are not rich. Rich was a floor you passed a long way down. You are powerful. At this level, they sometimes call you the architect because you are no longer living inside the world. You are quietly redrawing its shape. And surely you think this must be the top. It is not. There is a floor above the billionaires. And the reason you have never heard a single thing about it is the whole point. Climb one level higher than the billionaire, and the wealth goes silent. The richest people on this floor do not appear on any list. You will not find them ranked, profiled, interviewed, or photographed. They do not hold their fortunes in their own names. They own through trusts designed to outlive them, through foundations that exist mainly to never pay out, through layers of structure so old and so deliberate that the money no longer has a face attached to it at all. This is old wealth. Wealth measured not in dollars but in centuries. While the billionaire is busy being seen, busy being admired, busy being envied, this floor is busy being invisible because visibility is a weakness, and they moved beyond weakness generations ago. A name in a magazine is a target. They simply refuse to be targets. And they do not chase power the way the floors below them do. They are the structure that power moves through. The billionaire owns the company. This floor quietly owns the conditions the company is allowed to exist inside. They are not on the list. They are the reason a list is ever permitted to be printed. These are the quiet rich, the real ones, and they would prefer, more than anything, that you never spent a single minute thinking about them. So now you are standing at the very top of the tower, the silent floor, the one above the billionaires that almost no one ever sees. And you finally understand the true shape of the whole thing. But there is one last door, and it is the strangest one of all. Because the moment you reach that highest, quietest floor, the only question left is no longer how much do I have. Every number stopped meaning anything several floors ago. The question that remains is the one question that all of that money was never able to answer. Is it enough? And here is the twist this entire climb has been hiding from you. There is a level above all of them. Above the earner, above the investor, above the insider, the owner, the architect, even above the invisible old families who own the ground itself. It belongs to the person standing on any floor of this tower who is finally able to stop climbing. Because wealth carries a cruel design flaw, and it is built into every level equally. At each floor, the architecture is identical. It shows you the next floor up. The $11 million man looks at 30 and feels small. The 30 looks at 100. The $100 million owner looks up at the billionaire. The billionaire aches for the silent floor above him. The hunger never shrinks as the number grows. It grows right along with it. Most of the people at the very top of this tower are not free at all. They are still climbing, just with more zeros, more quietly, in far more beautiful rooms. So the real top of the 1% was never a net worth. It was never a number at all. It is a state that almost no one on any floor ever actually reaches. The ability to look at what you already hold and feel the single thing that every dollar in this entire tower was secretly trying to buy from the very beginning. The feeling of enough. That is the one level money cannot reach directly. You cannot buy it. You cannot invest your way into it. You cannot inherit it from anyone. A person with $11 million can have it completely. A person with 11 billion can die having never once felt it. So go back to the glass office on the 40th floor. The very beginning, the moment the number crossed 11.6 million, and for one quiet second it felt like the end of the story. Could have been. Not because the number was finally high enough, but because for that single second, you were not yet looking up at the next floor. You were simply, finally, still. That stillness was the top. It always was. Every floor stacked above it is just a more expensive way of being told that you are not there yet. This is the thing the truly quiet rich understand, and almost no one else ever does. The ones standing at the real top are not the ones holding the most. They are the ones who stopped needing more. That is the floor above the billionaires. It is the only one in the entire tower with the lights still on. And the strange, freeing truth is that you do not have to climb for 30 years to reach it. You can step onto it the moment you decide that what you are building is already quietly on its way to being enough. New stories from the other side, every day. I will see you at the next level.